lineup. Like, nothing changed really here for ONIC to take it all the way, moving through the brackets. Aurora, they got an ultimatum. Welcome to game number 4. Brigida, Rock and Leo at your service here. How do we feel about Kimmy coming back?
Well, I've been seeing it a lot, you know, like in other tournaments during the entire 3-week break. Like, it's been a common pickup or a priority even in the first pick, and that was something I was looking at heading into the playoffs. But it appears that teams are being a little more careful about picking the Kimmy, and it's usually paired with a Gatot Kacha in the previous games that I've seen it go, but it's different this time.
Funnily enough, I was actually saying yesterday, where the hell are these Kimmys hiding? And yeah, we finally see it. And usually, lineups that love to play against Kimmy usually love to pick the Baksha, but this time around they're on the same team. So that's a very interesting thing that Aurora did.
This is the Filipino flavor of the Kimmy, which is, again, often seen in our neighbors. MPL ID has a very strong Kimmy presence, mostly played in the mid. I'd say 7 out of 10 Kimmys are played in mid, then some in gold. But if they like their Kimmy, MPL MY love their Kimmy. Almost a 90 to 95% contest rate since she came out of that initial ban when she got reworked, and they mostly put her in mid too.
Yeah, and I feel like even despite it not being a Gatot Kimmy type of combo, I feel like there are a lot of possibilities that we can expect with the Cho and the Kimmy, because the Kimmy in itself can actually do some insane chain CC, you know? And you pair it up with the Cho, there's a lot more that can happen.
Speaking of pairings, look at that powerful combo of the Hylos and as well as the Kali, just pushing back Renegade as well as a Hayabusa from Demon Kite. But again, they can kind of just go around this here. No Raging Sandstorm yet for Brusco means that they're not so scary yet. Demon Kite, though, could have Super Friends in his sights.
Crimson Beacon away. Prince pulls the trigger. Edward holding his ground. Goes for the Baksha Unite. I wonder if they know that King Kong is still taking his orange. Both teams taking their time.
I think they are. They do feel that. Where is King Kong right now? Is about to get into the fight, but it's going to be Brusco going down. Might be a little too late. Super Friends going down as well means that King Kong will probably just back off for the meantime.
Oh no, they caught Kirk. ONIC took too long to make a call, and a lot of them fall 3 for none so far, and they're not done!
Oh, they're not done as of yet. Tempest Blaze being forced from King Kong means that, you know what, that's a bit of a statement here for Aurora. Get back in your lane.
Oh my goodness, even the mere Jeet Kundo into the Traction Pulse, or the Traction Pulse first, then being followed up by a Way of the Dragon from Renegade. Those are just some of the possibilities that they began to show us 3 minutes into this game. And it was fortunate, supposedly, for ONIC that the first Traction Pulse didn't connect. But for some reason, Aurora just played it aggressively. They just brute forced their way into forcing a fight. And now they took advantage of ONIC. And again, as you mentioned, King Kong still taking his time on the purple or the orange buff.
Yeah, I rarely say this, but it feels like that was more on ONIC. They took too long, and Aurora punished them for that.
Yeah, that was taking a lot of time on the orange buff as well. Some people would say not really the biggest priority, especially if you already have your purple. So yeah, they really suffered for that, and looks like they're going to suffer even more, but at least King Kong still gets his purple.
Clutch. Demon Kite forced him to do that. Hell, Demon Kite even used his own retribution, and that's when you know Aurora is in the driver's seat. That's when you know Aurora means business is, all right, I'm willing to go throw away my retribution to risk yours.
Yeah, and honestly, if you look at all the lanes, it feels like it's working so well for Aurora. The Baksha into the high loss, he's just managing the lane so well. And Dominic, all he needs to do is just really get that farm, just clear the lanes and potentially even go for the double lane because he's being guided here by Renegade. And so when it comes to the team fights, now that they're in the lead, there are less things to worry about for Aurora.
Yeah, long and short of it, Aurora now 2,000 gold lead approaching. Oh, Traction Pulse started!
Oh, that is a beautiful ulti for Yue. Again, Super Friends being picked off over and over again by Demon Kite using that shadow kill.
I was going to say, Aurora living rent-free on ONIC's side of the map.
And that was just such a small thing, but imagine landing the shadow right into the timing of the Traction Pulse, capturing Super Friends at that moment. This is pure dominance that's being shown to us by Aurora so far.
Kite Brothers online. Second turtle scored up top, down bottom.
Even forcing a flicker out of Kelra is already massive enough. Renegade and Yue close by means that Kelra feels like he needs to back off now.
Oh my goodness, this is terrifying. Again, Sky Piercer first pick, already online for Yue. So they have to be extra careful about the kills that he's gonna get.
Look at that, 4-man squad, make that 5, trying to block the purple buff from being stolen, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. King Kong actually loses his purple, and Aurora will also get a kill on Brusco there with the beautiful placement of the Zaman Force.
And of course, it's Aurora asserting their dominance once more, displacing ONIC from their own jungle. King Kong knows what this feels like just yesterday. He was bullying a Ling.
Kirk trying to defend, they're trying to fight back again.
Edward gonna get a lot of tower hits and will not be able to survive long enough, but look at that. The pushback is very, very strong from Aurora with a kill as well onto Kelra.
Oh, they're not done. Super Friends.
Oh my goodness, they're just going back for more here. Even under the turret, Aurora are just firing on all cylinders.
Oh, imagine having to lose 2 bodies just to defend that mid lane turret. And King Kong, the only thing he could do was go for a trade at the top lane.
You know it's bad because I'm looking at Demon Kite's items. He's on his way to a Sky Piercer.
Yeah.
Oh my
There it is.
goodness.
He built it.
2 Sky Piercers already for Aurora. But
Edward again being caught up, but this time around the turret will be falling. He's gonna go down as well. But look at that. They're trying to punch him back. Demon Kite misses a few shots of that shadow kill, and now it's ONIC who are on the hunt.
that
Hunting it
reminds me of
down.
something a lot.
Okay. That's going to be the red carpet to push back Aurora. But you know what? ONIC are pulling back the goal lead one at a time.
Yep, Renmar mentioned it, breaking it down. As long as that's a manageable 4K, 5K gold lead, maybe we're talking. But Demon Kite now, forcing the issue, putting Kelra down to a 5th of his health. Final turtle. I'm feeling that ONIC might want to contest, but I don't think it's a wise thing to do.
Yeah. King Kong probably knows his timings as well. And this is very similar to how he played the Lancelot even. It's just really being extra careful, not until there's a clear window of opportunity for them to capitalize on their lineup, then they're not gonna risk it just yet, especially considering that Aurora, whatever you say, they're still in the lead and they have all their tools ready for whatever may happen in the next few seconds.
All right, pushing it forward. Bottom lane, Aurora's focus right now. There's nothing ONIC can do here. They just have to accept the fact they can't fight this.
Yeah, they're losing turrets non-stop here, and ONIC are just looking. Again, this is pretty similar to what they did in the previous games as well. Just biding their time, looking for that perfect moment to strike. They're very disciplined still.
Yeah. As much as we really want to look for King Kong and the things he can do to manage the macro, he's up against the 2K gold lead in Demon Kite's hands. And even if he does want to go for the split pushes, he'd have to consider that there's Edward, a Baksha XP lane that can just constantly hunt him down and deny whatever attempts he wants to do in terms of managing the opposite lanes. So this is clearly Aurora managing things pretty well, and they're in such a position that you can't deny the magic damage that'll potentially burst down key members from ONIC. Looking at Yue and Dom and Kai.
Oh
Uh-oh, speaking of getting bursted down, that was very, very close. With the jump from Edward, barely missing King Kong. Here comes the Traction Pulse, pulling back Brusco as well. Again, forcing him up, but look at that. That was a feint. They were busy with Kelra on top.
We missed the sequence, but Renegade caught the wave of dragon that cost $1 million. Kelra was underneath the turret. I would wager he was underneath there thinking it was safe, and then Renegade, nah.
Nuh-uh, indeed. And look at that, Aurora. Again, no reaction, no way to actually clear quickly the minion waves means that ONIC will have to look as their turret has fallen again.
Yeah.
I would give their wave clear a D-.
That's pretty rough.
That's tough.
I mean, look, how else do they clear waves? This is a fighting lineup. Like, there's no way they're managing waves.
In Game 3, the Zushin had a pretty good DPS, I think. So that was excusable, but...
And they were winning for the most part.
Yeah,
like,
they were winning.
As soon as they picked the fight, they were winning. But now, oh my God, Rora's breaking the 5K gold lead threshold. And they're taking Lords like it's nothing.
Yeah, and I was honestly about to take what I said, take back what I said. Oh my goodness, did he get...
Dude, Yue just took it. He just took
Yue.
it. And King Kong spent his red tree.
Oh, that was painful.
Yeah, this is pretty tough. Even if King Kong does get out, he'd at most get to deal with one wave that will be immediately answered back by Aurora. And this is no joke considering that they're way up ahead. 6K, Demon Kite always lands the shadows, the Ogi shadow kill on the right targets, and there's no clear source of crowd control to immediately respond back to Demon Kite once he decides to just use the Zaman Force freely against ONIC Philippines.
That's not very Sigma.
Not very Sigma.
Oh no, Lord crashing through mid, popping that holy defense. ONIC's gonna lose something here, one way or another.
That's right, and the traction pulse again, pulling back Brusco is gonna be fighting back with his own Raging Sandstorm though. Look at that, Edward now on the mercy of the turret. Demon Kite trying to get some damage in, but no casualties at least for now here.
Oh my god!
But it's King Kong on the back. He's looking for blood, but will be answered immediately almost by Demon Kite.
And that thing that they were gonna lose was the Sigma jungler himself. King Kong falls, but traded for two. I'll say it's worth it.
Yeah, I even thought it was going to be Brusco, you know, but the mere fact that the Way of the Dragon was still intact, it could have been different for ONIC Philippines if only Renegade decided to risk something in that Lord Siege. But he was very patient and careful in terms of whether or not he will be using it. And the moment they spotted out King Kong trying to do something, they knew they had other ways. They knew they had other things to use it for. But Demon Kite!
Again, it's 1v3, but Demon Kite feels very confident to just take this, absorbing so many bullet hits, but getting pulled back at the last minute by Super Friends.
Demon Kite walked into the wrong street and got ganked. He got shafted by the Super Fam.
And that 6K gold lead we were talking about earlier, it's almost down to half now for ONIC Philippines. They're slowly regaining their confidence of going out of the map and looking for things to do, especially as time goes by. King Kong, he's getting his hands on the necessary items. You're starting to feel his damage, especially towards the backliners of Aurora.
I'd say King Kong needs maybe one more item. He's about a Trinity in to this Ling build. If he gets one more item, and if some way, somehow, ONIC can do just that. Again, trick Demon Kite or you into walking down some weird corner of the map. Even Demon Kite hasn't died yet. If they can do that to Demon Kite, then maybe we can talk. Then maybe ONIC can come back.
Yep. Demon Kite, though, just picked up the Blade of Despair as well. So he's still undeniably up there in terms of the gold leads. Although King Kong is really starting to catch up. Now, this upcoming Lord is definitely going to be a very contested objective. You have to watch out for the setups from Aurora, and Kirk has to start things up.
Yeah, Lord started to set up already with two-man knockout for Edward and Demon Kite. King Kong is close by. He's joining the fight. There goes the red carpet, and Demon Kite is very happy to just take these targets one by one. Two will fall, but the retribution on the Lord will go over to ONIC. They're gonna have to run though. They are running. King Kong's getting chased down. Yua with the flicker as well. Energy, just with a little bit of flair, takes down King Kong as well.
Aurora are taking no prisoners. It's just Super Friends left, and yes, ONIC do score a Lord, but Aurora wanna end.
They're looking at that turret. They are spamming all the emotes they can, waiting for the perfect time to wait for that Lord and take care of it, clean it up. But look at that, Demon Kite. Oh my God, did he get killed by the foul hit?
Yes, he did.
Oh no!
They wanted to end it.
Two members of the Super Fam respawn just in time to hold him down and punish the rest of Aurora. That was close. They could have lost more.
That was probably a fight ONIC Philippines willingly took. It was risky. It was a retry battle. My eyes were glued to these two junglers who were just trying to contest for that Lord, all the while their other team fight was happening near their base. But they knew it. The death timers, they weren't that long just yet. We're less than 15 minutes into this game, and they could probably catch up to Aurora, who definitely tried to force their way in.
I won't lie, no cap, fur. That last sequence felt like deja vu. That's the kind of thing ONIC would do. They would send King Kong all the way to the back, steal the damn Lord, and then we'll play from there. And here they understood that the risk was worth it. Here they knew that if our frontliners died and King Kong were to fall too, Friends can hold the fort down, and they live to fight another day.
Yeah, and Super Friends definitely has the right hero to actually deal with this. And something makes me wonder, did Aurora wait a little bit too long for that push to happen?
They needed minions, man, before they could break down mid, and then they got the minions. But again, picture perfect, frame by frame, second by second, ONIC held on. They knew that these two would respawn, Kirk and Brusco, and that's where we are now.
They knew exactly where they were, and they are... I'm really surprised as to how composed they're able to remain, to make all those calls, to make all these decisions, despite them being in such a difficult spot up against Aurora. Now again, going back, the goal lead, it hasn't increased as much compared to what we've been seeing earlier. And King Kong also just picked up his Blade of Despair earlier, but the purple buff, they need to contest for this. Oh no!
Oh, look at that, having to take it 2 down, pulling him back with Attraction Pulse, but now they are gonna have to run with the help of the Glorious Pathway from Kirk. That's a few skills gonna be super useful.
See all that? Just to deny King Kong the purple. They know that if ever they let him have it, that could be ONIC suddenly turning on them.
Yeah, that could be like a big split push.
Yeah, stepping on the clutch saying, hey, we're gonna fight now. And Aurora can't take that. They won't let that happen. Lord spawning lower quarter. So far, Lord of Peace for Aurora and ONIC. Looking at the stats, it's Aurora who has the Lord take lead over the Super Fam, and they're looking to blitz the Lord. Less than half health.
They are blitzing, but looking like they're trying to go for Kirk as well. Running it down with the Glorious Pathway. King Kong is ready with a retry, but they choose to reset. They take down Kirk as well as Brucio. Double kill for Yue. They're chasing it up. Renegade, he finds the target. He finds Kelra, and now he's chasing it. 2-man knockup once more for the Hitman, and you are surrounded. They get taken out. It's King Kong on his lonesome.
Aurora have wiped out ONIC effectively. Technically, King Kong is a non-factor in the next few moments of game number 4.
And there they officially wiped them out. And we're actually seeing a game 5.
It's time to clear it out, says the lights. And we are slowly getting into game number 5.